At my wedding rehearsal dinner, my fiancée kept disappearing to take calls from the caterer. My little sister thought something felt off and followed her. What she found? My best man pressed against her car, kissing her neck. She recorded it, ran back crying. I watched the video alone, swallowed every tear, and said nothing. The next day, right before I pulled out the footage and played it on the projector in front of 137 guests. Her dad fainted. Her mom screamed. I turned to the best man and said, "The honeymoon's yours now." Then I walked out, straight into freedom. I'm not good at writing things like this, but I can't keep it inside anymore. Too many people still think the wedding didn't happen because I got cold feet. They don't know the truth. Only a handful do. And now I want the rest of the story out there. My name's Dan. I'm 33 years old and I live in St. Louis, Missouri. I work in mechanical systems for a small but steady company. I'm not flashy. I'm not the life of the party. But I'm stable. Loyal. I try to do right by people. I thought that was enough. 4 years ago, I met Rachel at a friend's birthday party. She had this easy laugh and bright eyes that made everyone turn when she talked. She worked in marketing, full of energy and ideas. She always had something clever to say. I was quieter, more of a listener. Maybe that's why she liked me at first. I was the guy who actually listened. We got serious fast. Within the first year, we moved in together. I thought everything was heading in the right direction. We fought sometimes, like anyone, but I always felt like we could talk through it. Or at least I thought we were. Looking back now, I see I did most of the talking. She just said what she needed to say to keep things smooth. I proposed to her at the arch, right in front of the river, on a clear Saturday morning. She cried, hugged me tight, said yes. That night, we celebrated with friends. Everyone was happy. Or pretending to be. My best man was Luke. We grew up across the street from each other. Played baseball together, had sleepovers every summer. He was the kind of friend who knew everything about me. And Rachel always got along with him. Maybe too well, but I told myself not to be paranoid. Leading up to the wedding, things got tense, as weddings do. Details, money, guest lists. Rachel was all over it. She handled the florist, the band, the photographer, the seating chart. I let her run with it. She liked to be in charge, and I didn't mind. I just kept writing checks. Then came the rehearsal dinner. It was the night before the wedding. We had it at a small Italian place in Soulard, the kind of place with candles on the tables and red checkered tablecloths. It felt warm and close. Family flew in, people gave speeches, we toasted with too much wine. Rachel looked incredible that night. Green dress, hair up, glowing. Everyone was telling me how lucky I was. And I agreed. But she kept disappearing. First time, she said the caterer was calling her. Something about the timing of appetizers. Okay. Fine. Second time, she said the band had a question about our first dance. Third time? The florist needed to double-check the boutonnieres. Each time she came back, she looked a little more rushed. Her lipstick slightly smudged. Her hair a bit out of place. I noticed. So did my little sister, Anna. Anna's 19. Smart, sharp, always asking questions. She's the kind of girl who can smell something off before anyone else. She leaned in and said, "Dan, I don't think she's talking to the caterer." I shrugged. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying something doesn't feel right. Want me to see where she goes?" I hesitated. I didn't want to be the guy who sent his sister to spy on his bride. But something in Anna's voice, it wasn't dramatic, it was calm. Certain. I nodded. Okay. Just don't make it a scene. Please. Anna slipped out the side door next time Rachel got up. I kept making small talk. Pretended everything was fine. But inside, my stomach was turning. 20 minutes passed. No Anna. I was starting to panic when she came back in. Her face was pale. Her eyes red. She looked like she'd just seen something awful. She walked right up to me, no words, just handed me her phone. Watch it. Alone. I took it to the men's room and locked the door. My hands were already shaking. I hit play. There was Rachel. In the parking lot. Up against her car. And Luke, my best man, was kissing her neck, his hands on her hips. Her dress was bunched up on one side. She was into it. It wasn't a surprise kiss. It wasn't a one-time mistake. It looked practiced. Comfortable. Like this had happened before. I watched it again just to be sure. I dropped to the edge of the sink and stared at the wall. My vision blurred. Not from tears, exactly. Just disbelief. I didn't cry. Not then. I walked back to the table. I said nothing. I toasted with my dad. I nodded through stories. I kissed Rachel on the cheek and told her I couldn't wait for tomorrow. Inside, I felt nothing. I stayed up all night. Watching the video again. Thinking through every word she'd said. Every time Luke had just dropped by. All the moments that didn't make sense until now. By morning, I had a plan. I wasn't going to scream. I wasn't going to fight. I was going to wait. And I was going to show everyone exactly who she and he really were. Morning came fast. The sun was shining, birds chirping like nothing was wrong. It was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. Instead, I was numb. I got dressed slowly. My tux was hanging on the back of the door. It felt heavier than it should have. Like it knew. I didn't call anyone. Not Rachel. Not Luke. Not even Anna. I didn't want anyone to talk me out of it. I had made up my mind. When I arrived at the venue, a big historic mansion west of downtown, people were already gathering. The planner was running around, trying to make sure everything was just right. Guests smiled and nodded. Someone handed me a coffee. I sipped it like I hadn't seen my bride making out with my best friend just hours ago. I kept my cool. Kept my face calm. Everyone thought I was just the usual calm groom. But inside I was cold. Every second that passed, I thought about that video. I saw it behind my eyes, over and over. Rachel arrived 30 minutes later. She looked radiant. Hair perfect, makeup done, that same big smile she always had when she was working a room. You'd never guess she'd been cheating just the night before. She didn't even flinch when she saw me. Just came up and kissed my cheek. "You ready?" she asked. "Yeah," I said. "I'm ready." The photographer came to take pre-wedding shots. We smiled, posed, even laughed a little. I looked at Luke through it all. Standing just behind me in his tux, acting like nothing happened. He didn't know I knew. He thought it was still their little secret. It made me sick. But I kept smiling. An hour before the ceremony, the guests started to take their seats. My cousin, who was doing the A/V setup, came to check in. "You still want the slideshow before the vows?" "Yeah," I said. "Actually, I made a few changes to it last night. Want me to send it over?" "Sure, just email it." I sent it. My version. He didn't question it. 5 minutes before the ceremony, Luke pulled me aside. His hand on my shoulder like old times. "Nervous?" he asked. "Not really." "You sure?" "You're shaking a little." "I'm sure." He smiled. "You're gonna be great. She loves you, man." I looked him dead in the eye. I think he saw something in my face. Something that made him blink and shift a little. But he didn't say anything. Then it was time. The music started. The guests were quiet. The lights dimmed. The projector screen dropped down from the ceiling. The crowd leaned in. It started with photos of me and Rachel as kids. Baby pictures. Our parents holding us. Then high school pictures, college, the two of us together. Laughing. Hugging. Engagement photos. Everyone was smiling. Then the music stopped. And the screen cut to black. Then it started playing. Rachel. In the parking lot. Pressed against her car. Luke's face buried in her neck. Her hands pulling him closer. No one said anything at first. Just gasps. Then whispers. Then shouting. Rachel screamed. Her mom stood up and yelled her name. Her dad fainted, literally dropped into his chair. Someone ran to him. My mom covered her mouth. People stood up, not sure if this was real. And me? I stepped up to the mic. All eyes on me. I was going to marry that woman today, I said. My voice was even. But last night, while we were all celebrating, Rachel decided to celebrate with my best man. The room was dead quiet. I watched that video on the toilet of an Italian restaurant, while everyone else was giving toasts. I sat through it. I smiled. I kept quiet. But I'm not marrying a liar. And I'm not pretending in front of 137 people. I turned and looked right at Luke. The honeymoon's yours now. I handed the mic to the planner and walked out. But just as I hit the door, I heard someone chasing after me. Dan, wait, please. It was Rachel. She was barefoot, crying, running across the marble floor in her wedding dress. Dan! Please! It wasn't what you think, he kissed me, I didn't. I stopped. Turned around. You didn't pull away. She looked stunned, searching for words. You moaned his name. People were watching through the glass doors. Some with their phones out. I didn't care. I would have forgiven almost anything, I said. But not you screwing the one person I trusted most. I turned back around. And this time, I didn't stop. You'd think walking out would be the end of the story. But it wasn't. Not even close. I got in my car and drove straight to my buddy Paul's place. He wasn't at the wedding. He moved out to the suburbs a year ago and kept mostly to himself. But he was one of the few friends I could trust, no questions asked. When I showed up at his door in a tux, looking like I'd just stepped out of a war zone, he didn't say anything. Just opened the door wider and handed me a beer. I saw a clip already, he said. Someone posted it. You okay? Nope. Stay as long as you need. I crashed on his couch for 3 nights. Tried not to look at my phone, but texts kept pouring in. Some people were on my side. Some were furious. A few were in shock. Rachel's mom messaged me 3 times asking if we could talk. Her dad ended up in the ER for heart palpitations. That part one did feel bad about. He was a decent guy. But then the real twist came. Anna, my sister, called me on the 4th day after the wedding. She sounded shaken. Dan, you're not gonna like this. What? Rachel filed a police report. Said someone leaked private footage without her consent. She's blaming me. I sat straight up. What? She told them I followed her, stalked her, and doctored the footage. She's saying the video's fake? She's saying I faked it. That I've always hated her and wanted to ruin your wedding. That's when I knew Rachel was way worse than I thought. This wasn't just someone who cheated. This was someone willing to burn down anyone to protect herself. Even a 19-year-old girl who saved me from the worst decision of my life. I told Anna not to worry. I called a lawyer I knew through work and explained everything. He told me not to panic. If it came to anything real, the original file metadata and timestamps on her phone would prove everything. Still, it shook me. Rachel wasn't just a liar. She was dangerous. Then came Luke. 2 days after the police report nonsense, he showed up at Paul's place. I was sitting on the porch with a beer when his truck pulled up. I stood slowly. My hands clenched without thinking. He got out, arms raised. I'm not here to fight, he said. I just want to talk. Then talk. He looked rough. Bloodshot eyes. Like he hadn't slept either. I screwed up, man. I know that. But it wasn't what you think. Oh, really? I said. Because what I saw looked like two people real comfortable being real close. In public. On the night before her wedding. He looked down. It started 3 months ago, he said. We were both drunk after a party. One thing led to another. I thought it was a one-time thing. But she kept calling. Kept pulling me in. So it was her idea? I asked. Mostly. But I didn't say no. I didn't stop it. I nodded slowly. My blood was boiling, but I didn't hit him. I needed to see you, he said. Because I'm leaving town. I lost my job. My girlfriend dumped me when the video hit the internet. I'm done here. Good, I said. You got exactly what you deserved. He turned to leave. But stopped. One thing though, he said, not facing me. You should check your bank account. I blinked. What? She used your card for everything. And I mean everything. He drove off. I ran inside, logged into my banking app. And my jaw dropped. Wedding expenses, sure. I expected those. But she'd been spending before that. Big purchases. Flights. Hotel stays. Designer clothes. And not just in St. Louis. I saw a charge from Miami. One from Chicago. A luxury spa in Nashville. And a 2-week hotel booking in Aspen. During the time she told me she was visiting her aunt in Wisconsin. That's when it hit me. Luke wasn't the only one. There were more. Maybe a lot more. And now, I wasn't just heartbroken. I was ready to burn every last piece of her fake world down. I couldn't believe I ever thought I knew her. Rachel didn't just cheat on me, she used me, drained me, and tried to destroy the one person who had the guts to expose her. I met with my lawyer the next day. We pulled bank statements, traced every big charge, and found more dirt than I was ready for. Turns out, Rachel had been living like a millionaire on my card for over a year. Spa weekends with clients, luxury hotels during work trips, gift cards, jewelry, not a dime paid back. I didn't just cancel the joint account. I filed fraud charges. My lawyer was good. He said since most of the big spending was not related to shared expenses and I never approved them, we had a case. And the best part? She had signed the prenup. Tight. Clean. Ironclad. All her business expenses became her problem. When Rachel got served, she lost it. She called me from a number I didn't recognize, crying so hard I almost didn't recognize her voice. Dan, please, I didn't mean to hurt you. You pressed your body against my best man's mouth the night before our wedding. You tried to have my sister arrested. And you bled me dry. I didn't know how to stop. You never wanted to stop. You just didn't think I'd find out. Click. She showed up to my place 2 days later, pounding on the door in tears. Paul stood behind me with a baseball bat, just in case. I loved you, she screamed. You were everything to me. I didn't answer. I just handed her a folder. Inside were printed screenshots from her credit card logs. Plane tickets. Receipts from Aspen. And a photo of her leaving a hotel with some guy I didn't recognize, his arm around her waist. I'd hired a private investigator 2 weeks ago. Just to be sure. Her face fell. You think Luke was the only one? I asked. Turns out he wasn't even your favorite. She dropped the folder and backed away. I hope the honeymoon was worth it. She left without another word. Weeks passed. The story blew up. Someone had posted the wedding projector video online. It went viral. Over 2 million views in a week. I got messages from strangers across the country, some offering support, some just nosy. I ignored most of it. But one night, I got a message from a guy named Chris. He lived in Chicago. He'd been dating Rachel off and on for 8 months. He found out about me from the video. He sent me pictures of her at his apartment. She told him her ex was abusive and obsessed. That was me. I was the abuser, in her story. He dumped her. Then sent the photos to me for my lawyer's file. Rachel lost her job a month later. Word got around. Her reputation was shot. The company didn't want the drama. Luke moved to Colorado. I haven't seen him since. But a mutual friend told me he's living out of his car. Couldn't hold down a job. Couldn't look anyone in the eye. Good. Anna? She's doing great. Took a summer internship in New York. I gave her the money I got back from Rachel's fraud charges. Told her to use it for whatever she wants. She saved my life. And me? I moved on. It wasn't easy. Therapy helped. So did time. I dated again, slowly. Carefully. More honestly. I stopped trying to be the guy who kept quiet to keep the peace. That guy let people walk all over him. That guy almost married a liar. The day the annulment papers were finalized, I went back to the same Italian restaurant where we had the rehearsal dinner. I sat alone at the bar and ordered the same meal I never got to eat that night. When the check came, the waiter smiled and said, "It's covered. Some woman left money behind for you. Said she was your sister? Anna." I left a tip big enough to make him smile twice. Then I walked out the door. This time, into real freedom. Not the kind I pretended to have, but the kind I earned.